She's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.
After all that sitting, is it time?
It's
2
time.
minutes, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Where's my notepad? And then here we are. Hey, everybody. It's Jeanne Robertson. Where's the camera, Patrick? All right up there. We never know. So this is an exciting day here, and thank you for joining me on the back porch in North Carolina, where if we look through, now you people in the Northeast are going to burst out laughing, but if we look through our windows right now, we see a dusting of snow. However, during the night, it was icy and snowy and bad, and therefore, our special guest for the day, Karen Mills, who was driving from Chattanooga, we just let cooler heads all prevail, and she's going to come in a few weeks, and we will announce that later. Karen, if you're listening, we miss you, but she could have zoomed in, but we had planned to go to dinner last night with the crowd, Tony and Patrick. Not a big crowd, but a crowd, Patrick, and that lets us have the exact number we can get in this restaurant and sit far apart. So she's going to come in a few weeks, and so we're going to go on without her, but we appreciate that, Karen. Next week, we already have scheduled Jane Jenkins Hurlong from South Carolina. Jane was in the Miss America pageant. She was Miss South Carolina. I don't know why girls enter those pageants, but she wanted to, and she did. Of course, I'm saying that jokingly because I was Miss North Carolina in the Miss America pageant, probably before Jane was born, but about 10 or 15 years before. I don't know.
Not that bad.
No, that's Tony over there. I'm on the porch with about
Jane's old.
Jane's old. Well, what does that make me?
I love Jane.
It makes me be alive. So we look, and then
It makes us old enough to get the first round of vaccines.
That's right. We're vaccine ready over here. So then we've got another weekend planned. We think we're going to go up in the closet. Y'all have been requesting that we go up into this closet that I built on. And then after that, we have Shonda Pierce coming. This is all this month. And she is drop dead funny, and y'all are excited. Thank you for sending me names and suggestions of people to have on the show. If you ever know any of them personally and can introduce me, they might not know who I am, but we got some great ideas, and I appreciate that so much. A couple of things we're going to do today. We will have 3 show and tells, and we'll do those sometime. We don't have time. And when New Year's came, we threw out all the bags of the absolute thousands of people who had entered for prizes, and we started over. So last week when I was in Nashville for the Grand Ole Opry, I had live, not from Jeannie's back porch, but from the Nashville people's living room because it was too cool there to go out on their deck. And we started over. And you had a lot better odds of winning prizes, and you had better odds of getting your question asked, and then you get thrown into the prize box too for an entry out. So we think we've got it, and I want to start off today with some show and tells. About 6 weeks ago, I wore this shirt on my pop-up during the week. For those who don't know, I do a pop-up just usually on Thursday before Friday. That's the way it always comes, Thursday, Friday. Before we start having the show, I'm on a radio show in the mornings, and I'll tell you about that. And but I wore this shirt. We don't come up here on the porch. I'm doing this from my messy office downstairs. And y'all really liked this shirt. And I thought I've never had shown it for the big group, and so I'll tell you about it. I think it's a show and tell, and I'll show you why. Do you see, Patrick, can you zoom in closer? This you can't, or can. Could you walk over here with the camera? No. But okay, so what we have here, that's good. This is a moon, and this is supposed to be a river. And when I was at the Moon River, Andy Williams Moon River Theater in Branson for a show, they left me this shirt, and then you can see there are rhinestones everywhere and around the neck and around, and it's not a t-shirty material. It's a nice shirt. And I loved it, and happened to have with me on that for that show some rhinestone earrings, bracelets, a big pin. Y'all have all seen it. I've worn it for years. And I thought, you know what? I think I'll wear this shirt with the black slacks I've got. And turned out, I didn't realize it, but all of the ushers wear these shirts to wear these shirts too. And so I don't think they sold out after the show, but they sold a bunch of these shirts. And I just love it. I put on my rhinestone earrings. I had on my rhinestone bracelets, some of which, of course, are magnetic bracelets, and you know where I got them.
Are wine stones anything like rhinestones?
Did I say wine stones?
After you drink wine, they become wine stones.
But I'm not drinking wine.
I thought I heard that.
What are y'all doing? I'm not drinking any wine. It is noon. We're not doing that.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Let me explain to you. That's Patrick Henry, who's producing the show, as y'all know. We are two professional speakers who looked at each other last March in our little town in North Carolina and said, what are we going to do? All of my shows have been postponed, and Patrick, all of your conventions have been either canceled for this year or postponed. So here we are working. We are not into the wine, but you know what? The way this shows works out sometime, maybe that wouldn't be a bad. There's Gypsy Tweed looking superb in your bling. Thank you. I just think this is a great shirt. And the fact that it's really a nice, I showed it to Jane Tucker thinking, what is she going to say? And her first things were, that's fabulous. What a great shirt. Oh, and you're wearing my mother's earrings with it. And I said, yes, I am. Do you have any more? Because her mother had a lot of these pairs. So that's one of my show and tells. I wanted to show y'all that today and make sure you could see the Moon River. If I could sing, I might have had a chance of being Miss America. So see there, I'll just do the best I can. The second thing, this is also a show and tell. I've had this here for several weeks, not last week, of course, because I wasn't here. And people have started asking about it. It's an American flag, and it's carved on a piece of wood. And I was watching television last year. Patrick, can you come pick this thing up? I want to make sure that I tell you the young man's name, and it's on the back. He signed this to Jerry and Jeanne Robertson, who love this country. And his name, I got number 101 out of all the ones he did. And his name is, let me make sure, Lorenzo Liberti. And it's solid wood. And what he did was, I'm not selling things, don't think.
Do you think Liberty may be a made-up name for an artist of patriotic stuff?
No, I think it's his name. Okay. It's spelled with an I, Lorenzo Liberti. Okay, put it down. He's carved little swatches out. Yeah. Anyway, you can put it back here. Beaver came through, saw it, and said, as he does way too many times, Mom, don't give that away. I want that. Well, yeah, I just bought it. But he's given the money to to homeless veterans. And then he also, some of it has gone to help first responders at hospital. He's trying to put one, I think, in the hospitals. So I thought he was a very polite teenager. He had come up with the idea. He knows exactly how many hours it takes him to make one of these flags. And I realize so many people are not from our country, but I'm hoping you feel the same way about your flag that we feel, a lot of us, about our flag. And so then he had to hire other people in his shop classes, and he's got his buddies working everything. So this was in June, I think. And I thought, he is so polite. And yes, ma'am, yes, sir, answering the questions of the commentators. I just slapped down my credit card and bought one, thinking I'm going to be one of the ones that this is a good idea, thinking I was in the minority and then it said, I got a letter that said, yours will be delivered in December. That was last summer. So it came and I started putting it up. So that's my second show and tell. And my third show and tell is something I've had out here and I couldn't work it in. And this is a great day for it. This is a letter I just got from a man in Alamance County, North Carolina named Tim Green. He found writing a book that his daddy had written. And it was Say Goodbye at the Corner. Or turn right, say goodbye at the corner. And he took that book to fruition. Like a lot of people, his daddy went to work in the mills here when he was like 14, and he thought he was going in to work for the summer. And his mother would go to the corner, walk him, and then wave goodbye. And the whole thing is that there are a lot of people whose lives are not planned exactly like they think. But this was a talented man, and although he wound up working in the mills a long time, he wrote this book, and his son found it, and he put it out. So last year, before last, on Memorial Day weekend, I was going through my messy office, and I found a letter from him that said, would you read this book and put a quote in the book if you enjoy it? It was a little book, and it doesn't have to be in the mills here. It could be on the tobacco farms in the eastern North Carolina. It could be whatever was the industry in your town at that time. But a lot of people get caught up, and they're grateful for the jobs, but they get caught up there. And I read the book that weekend, and I felt so bad because it had come out. And I called and told him, I said, I just didn't get through the clutter in the office. And he said, well, they're doing an article in the paper this weekend. Can they call you? And I said, absolutely. And they called. And I was in the article because I think it speaks of that generation and a lot of generations, and it was a good book. So I went to the book signing that he had, and I got this from him this fall. And look at it. It's a Purple T-shirt. Now, put your thinking caps on if you've been following my work. I'm going to take this shirt and turn it around, and it says on here, Sheraton, Waikiki Beach, right here. He found it, but let me tell you how he found it. And this is what he wrote. I just think this is classic. Because if you've seen the story about my husband, my wonderful husband, Left Brain, trying to get the luggage to Hawaii, you can remember that we were trying to get that luggage to the Sheraton at Waikiki Beach. So Tim was walking in Hawaii and saw, let me see, the Sheraton. You mentioned Sheraton Waikiki and how much you like T-shirts. The Sheraton has changed ownership and closed until August 1st. I was on the boardwalk recently on the Big Island of Hawaii and spotted this T-shirt about 200 feet in the distance. The lady wearing the shirt said that me buying the shirt from her was non-negotiable. Right there on the boardwalk, I pleaded to let's at least Indian wrestle for it, which we did, and I have won the shirt for you. My left shoulder is still hurt, but it looks better. Actually, I found another one like it, but they're out of print now, and I thought of you. So if you have seen the story about Left Brain trying his best to get the luggage to the Sheraton at Waikiki Beach, know I am proudly now the owner, because of Tim, of this purple shirt that has all the Sheratons in Hawaii. You got a question, Patrick?
Well, no, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to, some people have been sharing Lorenzo's website for the flag.
Fantastic.
It is heroicflags.com.
Thank you. Whoever did that, thank you. I just don't ever want to look like I'm just trying to sell all the time here. But this was a young man who was nice and polite and knew how to speak and tell why he was doing this instead of just, like all of the rest of our kids probably went through that phase. So that's great. And the money goes to causes that we should all be embracing, I think. Okay, so let me see if I can put this down, and we will go on and we will give prizes. Now, I have pulled up this Left Brain's grocery bag, and you think, well, that's the same grocery bag she's had with all. But remember, we had 4 grocery bags packed with tiny slips of paper to the top, even mashed them down. And now we have just a few in the bottom, the ones that came in last week and this week. So this first prize that I'm going to give away is your choice of my items. You can have a Left Brain's baseball cap. You can have any of the DVDs. You can have the new book, Don't Bungee Jump Naked, and other important stuff. The audio book is not included in this. We'll have that one a little bit later. Tony, aren't these, what, did you want to say something before I
just
draw?
said any of this, a CD or a DVD. A lot of people still prefer a CD. There are 9 titles and they may select one. Someone wanted them all last week after they won.
No.
But no, we give them one.
Okay, they get their choice.
Choice of any CD or DVD or the book, the physical book, not the audio.
And do you remember the
Or-
time we gave away all 9 and the books? It was a big thing, and the person never called for it.
Never heard from that one.
I know it.
we
So
never
that's
gave
why-
that away.
That's when we realized that a lot of times if you're drawing like last spring, they might not be watching that day.
Right.
So we let
these
that
people
go.
should all be more recent since we've changed the bag.
Yeah.
Since you have a new bag.
And I may do that
That'll
every
work.
month and start over because it gives you chances. And if you win once, you can certainly win again, but you can't win on the same day, because we had somebody enter 50 quote questions unquote yesterday, and we could have pulled out all day and pulled her name out. And I appreciate your interest, but you can only win once on a day.
One prize per day.
All right. Can I ask you something, Tony?
Sure.
Is everything out for Christmas?
Yeah, which I do not have tracking numbers on those orders.
Can
If
you?
you ordered 2 books at one time or more than, in other words, if your order weighs more than 13 ounces, then it went priority mail, and then I will have a tracking number. It doesn't really help because it just tells you where it's sitting if you don't have it yet. I had one lady who checked on her order from December 7th and this week, and the next day she called to say it arrived. So that was a month.
Yeah.
So I would say, I'm happy to check it and tell you when it went out, if that helps you, but they're all in the mail.
Okay.
They're all in the mail.
And we received a case of books that were mashed up and so funny that we just started laughing and couldn't. I mean, the books were even messed up, and they're pretty thick books. And so if yours arrives and there's been damaged or something, get in touch with Tony. Okay, Tony, is that
Sure,
right?
Of course. We don't want you to have but I haven't really had that problem. They seem to be
Just mine.
arriving. No, just that one that was shipped. That was
Yeah.
different. But no, I don't think people's orders are damaged, but they just are slow.
Okay, that'll work. All right, let's give away some presents, okay? Everybody? All right, here goes, and this is your choice of those items. I'm not looking, and watch this, because they say, do you ever shake the bag? So we're going to shake the bag right here, and all right, this is a person right here, and this person there too. I'm going to shake it till one drops, okay? And this is Nancy Riley. And she was listening yesterday on the pop-up, and she says, I'm having trouble hearing you. I know you got that fixed, didn't you, Patrick?
Yes.
Sure. You came over and fiddled with it and said, now it's fixed. So I'm assuming it is. Nancy Riley.
I'm going to give you a microphone.
Okay.
We'll have you so loud they'll be screaming until you turn down.
Okay. All right. That's one gift. And I'm going to now do another gift out of the same bag, because we started over and we don't have to go way down.
Although, can
And-
I say we don't encourage criticisms, so
Okay.
let this be a rarity.
She didn't win because she said something. Order your audiobook. All right, you got. How about this lady, Melinda Collins? Melinda Collins. It doesn't say where. It says TY. That's thank you. That wouldn't be a state. I don't think so. So I put her down, and we'll do one more right now and get to the questions. And this one right here, you have won a prize, and your name is Brenda DePorter. D-E, little e, capital P-O-O-R-T-E-R-E. And she says, I just got on my computer. I wish I had seen earlier. Well, I do. So, but you got on and you entered, and that's fine. Congratulations to you three. And we'll be giving more questions as the time goes on. Meantime, I'm going to start pulling out these questions that y'all asked.
Jeannie,
Yes?
before you do that, someone has asked, how do you win? They aren't aware of that. How to
Okay.
put their name in, so tell them that.
Okay, if you post on Facebook during the week, like when I finish this show, I'll thank all of you for coming. And if you go ahead and post a question or say anything, then your name, we run those off, and we go with the paper cutter and we cut them off, and then we put them into the bag. Then during the pop-up, people do the same thing, and we cut those off. I usually spend every Friday night cutting with the paper cutter. Only in Asheville last week, the Nashville people, in Nashville, did not have a paper cutter, but we got scissors and just cut till our little wrist fell, but it worked fine. Okay, and I see a lot of people in here. The title of the books, of my book, by Tim, is Say Goodbye, Wave at the Corner. It's a good story. Okay, well, I got to reach back here because it's been a year. Turn left. It's a double. The meaning is so good when you read the book, and it says, hope this finds you well. 7/7, slightly more than a year ago, able to publish my dad's writings. Wave goodbye at the corner. The word goodbye is a double meaning. He wasn't going anywhere, but he was going to be in that mill a long time. And he thought he just had a summer job at age 14. And it was the way people had to get through that era. So, very good. All right, let's go to some questions. Yes. Have you ever had a pet? What was it if you did? Oh, we had good pets. We had, when Beaver, our son Beaver, was growing up, we had dogs. I've got a couple of stories about those dogs on the clips. One of them is the Christmas surprise. I found the best pet to get Beaver after a lot of trouble because I was on the road all the time. Left brain was feeding it, and the left brain was really taking care of it. And if you can get a good hermit crab, if you don't know what those are, you can get them at the North Carolina beaches and South Carolina beaches. Put your hermit crab in a little cage. You don't have much to do there. Then there was that time that y'all brought your frogs over here and left them in our house. I'm going to tell that whole story.
I think you should.
Well, not today because we're going on with these questions. Remind me to tell them when y'all asked me to keep your hermit crabs, and I turned it over to Jerry. Not the hermit crabs, the frogs. But a hermit crab is a good gift. Other than that, I would not have a pet now because left brain can't take care of it. And I am sincerely hoping to be back on the road traveling. Patrick, are we going to make it back? What? Will you want me on the road traveling too? Absolutely. And then the poor dog I have to take him to a nice veterinarian, I'm sure. But okay, here we go. Kathy LaRock. Do you ever watch your pop-ups after signing off? You say goodbye and then you keep going. Oh, I do that. We're from the South. That's what we do, Kathy. You say, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you about. What happens is the names are moving along. And I say to you after the pop-up, because the pop-ups don't last too long, but I tell you what's coming up and giving away some prizes and answering questions. And I'm looking at the names and I say, thank you. I think that's about what I had for the day. And then I look down and there's the name of one of y'all who writes every week or says, I'm from Luverne, Alabama, which is where my daddy grew up. Or says, I live in Jacksonville and I have a show in Jacksonville in 2 weeks, something like that. And so I just stop and I know I'm doing it and I continue to talk to them. And then I'll say, well, it's time to go. And then I'll look and I'll say, I was in your high school class. And I stop because I don't want to be rude. We don't ever want to be rude. So I am a Graham, but guess what, Kathleen? I appreciate your asking. And I do realize that after I have signed off, I keep talking. I do that. Question?
That could also be a Southern thing because if you ask Tony directions, she's going to tell you how to get there, another way you could have gotten there, and the way you should have gotten there.
And when she went there the last time.
That's right.
And then tell you don't need to go anyway.
I know. Why are you going? I can do that for you. Okay. And here's another question. I'm reaching in here and we'll see what this one is. And this is from, okay. Sharon Langley. You said you wear a size 11 shoes. I wear a size 12. Do you have a funny story about buying shoes? Well, as you know, when you wear a larger size shoe, you can't just say, I think I'll run to the mall today and get some shoes for such and such occasion. They're just not easy to find. And size 11s. And then if I'm on stage, I'm trying to find good shoes like Porch or not. I mean, good looking. And I used to wear heels all the time on the stage. So I was in a shop in a town, and what I do when I get to the hotel is I start walking around the town. If they've got a flea market, I'm in. And then sometimes I see on the wall, I see shoes lined up, and there's signs that say, "We can fit you." So I was in a little town in the South, and I saw that, and I said, well, let me go in and see. And I don't mean to make fun of it, but there was a teenager behind the counter. And I went up and said, do you have any size 11s? And she was chewing gum. I mean, that became the focal point. Just chewing gum. And she said, yes, ma'am, we got, they're in the back on the last row. Well, I knew that was going to probably be the case. And I went back and turned the corner. I'm going to hyperventilate just telling you about it. I could see in the distance a pair of black Porch evening shoes. It just had one because I didn't trust you that you would take two of them and run out of the shoe shop. So you have to get the shoe, and then you find somebody and say, do you have one for the left foot too? And she says, yes, we do. And she brings you the shoes. And I tried them on, and they fit. And this is the hyperventilation. I almost clutched that box of shoes to my chest and looked around like some other woman with your size shoe or mine was going to come out from behind somewhere and say, you give me those black size 11 Porch shoes. And I went back to the counter, and I guess I was out of breath. And I put them down and said to this teenager who was still chomping on her gum, I said, what you want for this pair of black Porch shoes? And she turned the box around a couple of times and she said, $16. And I said, $16? And she said, okay, ma'am, calm down. How about 12? You can't make it up. So and Tony, do you remember the time we were in Phoenix?
I do. You want me to tell them?
Yeah, you tell them what happened.
1981, Jeannie took me to my first National Speakers Association convention. It was also the first week I'd ever been away from home for that long. And the kids were young, and it was a wonderful trip. Jeannie, I think you forgot to take those black Porch shoes with you.
I did.
And we got there, and she said, go over to that mall and see if you can't find me some black Porch shoes.
And wasn't not going to be on stage.
You were. Oh,
yeah.
You were
something.
Getting some award or something. Yeah. So you needed your shoes. And I didn't have any dressy black shoes either. So I went to, and I wish I could remember, I wanted to say it was the Personality Shop or it was a shoe store that used to carry every size in always.
Yeah.
So I went in and I asked for one pair of size 11 black Porch shoes, which they had, and also my size, which at that time was a 4.5. So the man looked at me very strangely, but we both got our shoes and wore them for years.
I remember you came back to him and slapped him down and said, you figure out which you wear and which ones I wear.
Yeah. And also you got a much better deal because you got a lot more shoe than I did.
That's right.
The same money.
Oh, we're going to go and complain about that again.
They didn't charge accordingly. Anyway,
no.
Yeah. Shoes
they usually would charge me more and you less.
Well, they should have.
Okay. I was in the Miss North Carolina pageant with her. I just pulled this one out, y'all. The year she won. Is it any wonder she won? Oh, I thought she said we couldn't believe. Is it any wonder? Who are you? Sharon, what town were you? Sharon, got to type that in and tell us what town you were. Oh, this week I received several good questions about pageants, about talent, about did you have to put a lot of money in your gowns, those kind of things. But since Jane Jenkins Herlong is coming next weekend, and she was also in the pageant way after I was, but she was sure there and was Miss South Carolina, we're going to hold those pageant questions till next week. Thank you. And we're still waiting to hear from Sharon. Which town were you, Sharon? I was Miss Graham. Listen to this. Shirley Ann Burton-Elliott. Hello from Bundamba, Ipswich, Queensland, Australia. All right. My town is in lockdown again from a new strain of COVID-19. So I'm stuck at home from 6 p.m. till Friday night. That's Friday night until 6 p.m. Monday night. And that's why she's watching my show. And you know what, Cheryl Lee? We're with you. You got to keep smiling. And I wish I could say if we can keep a sense of humor that we can solve this problem, but we sure can help ourselves get through it. We're sort of in the same thing here. We're not locked down completely where I live. Everybody where you live is a different thing. But we couldn't have a crowd of 15 or 20 sitting out here on the porch laughing if I said something that might be funny. We just can't do that. But everybody, don't lose your sense of humor. We've got to keep going in this situation. Okay, here comes another question. All right. See, I told you we were going to get in more questions this week. Okay. All right. Johnny Alexander. The Johnny is Johnnnie. Will you please post a picture of Patrick and his wife? We love him and you from Weatherford, Texas. You have a picture of Leslie with you?
Well, if I'd had just a little advance notice.
I know that. Well, let me make sure that everybody understands nepotism is alive and well. Leslie, who teaches at Elon University, she also teaches a lot of yoga. She's really something else, but she's in the School of Education at Elon. Is Tony, who's run my office for 42 years. She's Tony's daughter. And they met at the youth program. Tony, you probably have a picture of Leslie. Send Patrick a picture. Oh, you better have a picture. We love Leslie. Leslie is super smart. So there you go. So I had an old desk in Left Brain's office that it's just a real old desk. And so we needed to get rid of it. And then a friend of mine named Lynn's husband said, you want me to finish that desk for you? And I didn't say anything, because I had gotten it from Tony. And so that made it Tony's desk. And so at that point, they brought it back yesterday, and that was going to be a big surprise. And in the meantime, Patrick saw the desk this morning and said, that's perfect desk for Robert. That's their son. So that's Tony's grandson. So as we stand right now, where's the desk going?
Probably in Leslie's office.
In Leslie's office.
I think, but it is beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, there's Leslie. Can everybody see that?
We can't see that.
Why not?
I'll pull it up.
She looks good in that. Are you looking at yourself?
Do one where she's not standing on her head.
Okay. No, that's the yoga thing. Yoga thing. Okay, but anyway, I think Leslie's going to use the desk. Tony's not getting it back because you said it fits in your office. And then he said, but it fits in Robert's. And he said, no, Leslie wants that.
Yeah, I think so. It's
gorgeous.
Did a beautiful, beautiful job on it.
Yeah, he did.
It's a good family piece to keep.
Patrick, will you signal to me when you find the picture of Leslie that you want to show? What was wrong with that first one?
We weren't live. I mean, this is.
Oh, you got to go. Oh, but I can see it. So here is Jean Black from Anniston, Alabama. Do you ever, in your younger days, consider skydiving? No. Skydiving, it's like bungee jumping. If you see me coming down out of the sky, somebody pushed me. Call the police.
I do remember, Jeannie, years and years and years ago, you spoke for a group in North Carolina, and they had a little private plane, and they were flying you from one town to the other.
That's right.
It was Rocky Mount. It was Hardee's, the company.
Hardee's hamburgers. Yeah.
And I remember you saying that they invited you to the cockpit before they took off and said, would you like us to teach you how to take off? And your answer was, no, because there is no way in the world I would ever need to take off in this airplane.
By myself.
You want to show me how to land it? Okay. But I don't need to know how to take off.
Tony, we've been working together a long time. We were at the beach and they wanted me to do this speech. And I told Left Brain, we'll be there a whole week. I won't leave. And darn if I didn't say, yes, y'all come to Myrtle Beach and pick me up. And we went to Smith Mountain Lake or somewhere like that. Came back.
Well,
but Left Brain smile.
I just want to give out a shout out. Speaking of flying, my good friend's father and father-in-law passed away recently. His name was Hank Rogers, and Hank was a pilot. And he used to say that the second greatest thrill in the world is flying. The first is landing.
Yes, and he was right. I knew that he had
Got a
passed away.
picture of
I'm
Leslie if
sorry.
you want to see it.
All right, here's Leslie. I think outdid himself. If you
Outkick my coverage. as
I
they say.
know you outkicked your coverage. You didn't leave it up there long enough. Somebody might have been picking up a sandwich. See? And you wonder, where is she? Why didn't she come over here and sit? Well, she's got her own career and she has 3 children, and one of them, of course, is in college. So, we have a college student coming back to Elon today. My grandson Gray will be back at Elon today, and I have another one named Isley, who's from Branson, Missouri. She's not a grandchild. She's a goddaughter of Sherry Harris, who's on this board. And Keith, that did the desk, is on the way to the Greensboro airport to pick up Isley. I mean, we just manipulate like this every day. Okay, here's another question, and we'll give away some prizes. And then I want you to sing today, Patrick.
All right.
Will you sing? Okay. This is a question from Betty, Bettye Locklear from Fort Worth, Texas. What one food from your childhood that you wish you could eat again? I like the soft baby food, carrots. They were good. I don't know any food. Y'all, I hate to say it again. I just like anything somebody else will fix for me because I'm not a cook at all. But from my childhood, when I grew up, there were no fast foods. The big deal for us in Graham, North Carolina, was hoping that the Presbyterian Church got out in enough time that we could beat the Burlington crowd to the restaurant that everybody wanted to go to over here. And we would eat out on Sunday. You didn't have a microwave. You had to plan ahead, and Mother did. Did you have childhood food that you ate? If I liked it then, I like it now.
We used to always go to Morrisons Cafeteria after church.
Mm-hmm.
And my eyes always outdid my dad's wallet.
Yes, you would do that. See, remember, when I was growing up, it was the 50s. And so, but you had a couple of places. Zach's Hot Dogs was big in Burlington then, but Graham people didn't come to Zach's. That was 2 miles away. That was a totally different territory. You're putting the microphone up to your mouth, Tony. Are you saying anything?
Not right now.
Oh, okay. We're having a good time. Aren't we getting to more questions? Here we go. Let me just see what y'all say. Okay. I hope I get to yours, whoever that is. Oh, y'all are going to love these guests that we've got coming up, and you will love Karen when she gets to come. Nancy Cable Montgomery. I know that Left Brain has gone on some of your speaking trips. What was his favorite? I'm from the great town of Elon, home of Elon University. Nancy Cable Montgomery, do y'all know her? Well, I don't know. Say hello if you see me at a game, if there are any games. Left Brain didn't go on some of the speaking trips. Left Brain went on many of the speaking trips when I was trying to get started. And he used to say he went on the ones that were very good and he went on the ones that were very bad. For example, speaking on the beach in North Carolina at night to Rotary young people who were on a special retreat, and then speaking at breakfast the next day in Richmond, Virginia, meant that you got in the car the minute that one speech was over. And because I didn't think I would get either one of those speeches, then I got both of those speeches, and Left Brain would drive me to those speeches while I slept in the back seat or the front seat. It's just what we did. And he loved to go places that he could have time to stay. Tony, do you remember the time that I was going to Hawaii and I asked Left Brain to go, and he said he couldn't go because of some reason, and the PTA. Then I asked 2 or 3, and finally you said, I'll go, and we went on like Thursday and came back on Sunday or Monday.
That was for a speakers mid-year meeting. They had it in Hawaii, and it was great, but it was quick.
And that was when everybody swore that if they had a meeting in Hawaii, they would come. They didn't come.
That was 2002.
Can you believe that? A while ago, she said it was in 1981 when we were in.
Someone asked.
My mother-in-law is Rain Man.
Someone on
What?
here-
Yes.
Someone asked what month I started working for you. It was
April.
May 1st,
I thought it was April.
1979.
She's an excellent driver, an excellent driver.
I know.
Hush.
That's been a long time. Okay. So, left brain.
I want you to address this comment. Though.
Oh, I got to finish this one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Oh,
this
go
one
ahead.
is what Left Brain's dream and mine too was. People were asking me to speak, and we wanted to say what we will do is we'll go in the summer when he was a school principal, and we will take a town like San Francisco or Boston or wherever the speech was, and we would maybe stay for 2 weeks or even a month and live there and get a little place and just see that area of the country. What we didn't realize was this thing hit us so fast and there were so many speeches. We never had those times, but he sure went a lot of times. And most of the times, if it was Hawaii or it was, what's the place in Colorado Springs? The Broadmoor. I mean, places he could maybe take his golf clubs. And we just went, but then he was with me driving all night, except that one night in Charlottesville, Virginia. And then I was in Asheville for breakfast, and you and Sherry Kirchens drove me.
We thought it was a 3-hour drive.
I
We
know.
didn't know it was an 8-hour
8-hour drive. It was, I mean, I got out of the car and walked in and spoke.
You haven't lived till you check into the Grove, what was called the Grove Park Inn in Asheville then at 5:30 in the morning.
I know.
And you're speaking at 8 or something like
Oh,
that.
that was a mistake. We were young. I would never book something that close now. Never.
We
You
literally-
booked it.
we
What am
didn't-
I saying?
I don't think we had Bing or something to tell us how far it was.
You know what? This reminds me because it's about Jerry Left Brain. In that Charlottesville speech, I'm not going to tell you, you had relatives and we went by their house.
That's right.
But at the Charlottesville speech, the CEO, whatever the top person was for that company, was seated next to me, and I was there to speak to their staff, and his wife was on the other side, and she could not have been lovelier. And she said to me, I think I can be a speaker. And I mean, how many times do we hear this? And I said, well, jump in. We need a lot of women speakers, and we need people that can tell a different story and all this. I'm trying to pump her up and all. And she said, but my question would be, I have to do so many things for my husband. What would I do? I'll never forget this question. What would I do if I had agreed to give a speech, and when my husband got up that morning, he said he needed me to do something there that day, and I couldn't go make the speech? And I remember I looked right at her and said, I don't even understand the question. What are you talking about? What were you going to say, Patrick?
Well, I've lost it now. Let me see. I just got a kick out of this.
It's something somebody said.
Yeah.
Are you rolling it backwards?
Yes.
Now that's going to confuse people, Patrick.
They can't see this.
Oh.
This is not
Well,
their
what can
computer.
people see?
We're not on
They
their
see
computer.
you.
Okay. I'll see these names. Well, you just keep looking, and then I want you to get up and sing, okay?
Okay.
All right. While you're not making a move because you're looking, I'm getting
Someone
to get
lives-
another question.
Someone wrote, and they live close to the Broadmoor.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful place.
Well, two summers ago, the speakers convention was in Denver. So Tony and her husband Tom and Left Brain could not go because he was sick. And I took Gray, my grandson, Ryder, my grandson, and Jack, your grandson, and we went out and went to Colorado Springs, and we did not stay at the Broadmoor. I
No.
priced it
Yes. But we went and ate lunch
for
and we
for
walked around.
for 3 rooms, you and Tom, and then I had a room, and the boys all had a room. $2,100 a night.
Yeah, it was
I
like,
said, no,
it was
we
like
will not.
$700 per room per night.
We
So,
stayed
yeah.
down, but
And
if
the
you got,
antlers, which was very nice.
we loved the antlers, and we found those great places to eat, and went to the Garden of the Gods.
Oh,
But
so
the
beautiful.
kids were, when they saw the Broadmoor, and we walked all around because I've spoken there so many times.
We ate there. We shopped there.
Yep.
Remember, they found all those golf shirts they liked. And
Oh
then-
yeah, I remember.
But we didn't pay the $700 a night for each
Per room.
We-
I remember the golf shop because I remember Gray saying, Nene, did you by any chance bring your credit card?
Right.
True.
And unfortunately, they were having a sale.
I know. I guess this is without our guests coming, I guess we're just answering your questions and reliving some good times. You going to play now?
Sure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, presenting from Burlington, North Carolina, by way of Nashville and Auburn, Alabama, would you welcome, please, Patrick Henry? Yay!
This is a song I wrote about my hometown, small town in Alabama, Auburn, Alabama. I saw somebody had asked, where are you from? Because I mentioned Morrisons Cafeteria, and a lot of people mentioned that they love Morrisons. So I hadn't thought about that in a lot of years. Anyway, this is a song about my hometown. Well, drive-throughs, barbecues, pickup trucks, sea-doos, Friday nights, friendly fights downtown for a cruise, loving in the backseat, cut off jeans, bare feet, cold beer, steer clear, county sheriff on the beat. Snow cones, George Jones, catfish, styrofoam, buck knives, beehives, dogwoods, dirt roads, pine trees, plum jam, black labs, country ham, skeeter bites, flying kites, hallelujah, yes ma'am. Maybe small town, but we ain't small time. Yeah, we're country boys, living a country life. From Arkansas to Carolina. Yeah, we're keeping it country, y'all. That suits us fine. Town square, summer nights, watermelon, pillow fights, porch swings, radio, softball, fireflies, skinny dipping, stone skipping, Hank Jr. night fishing, water skiing, daydreaming, pickup ranch for switching, football, NASCAR, camping underneath the stars, T-shirts, red dirt, sweet tea and mason jars, hound dogs, goatees, John Deere, Little League, swimming pools, Sunday school, slip and slide, hide and seek. Did I mention 3-part harmony? Maybe small town, but we ain't small time. Country boys, living a country life. From Arkansas to Carolina. Yeah, we're keeping it country, y'all. It suits us fine. Bass boats, flatbeds, fried chicken, frog legs, church on Sunday, work on Monday, Cracker Barrel, tool shed, southern living, well wishing, slow dancing, slow kissing, country beat, wipe your feet before you walk to mama's kitchen. We may be small town, but we ain't small time. Yeah, we're country boys, living a country life. From Arkansas to Carolina. Yeah, we're keeping it country, y'all. That suits us fine. Yeah, we're keeping it country, y'all. That suits us fine.
Woo! Yay, Patrick. Would you repeat that? No, I don't know how you get all those words. I got to tell you, though, Morrisons was in Auburn. Morrisons Cafeteria was in Auburn. But when we were growing up, we were sent by the train. We'd go to Greensboro and get on the train and go down to Auburn, and they don't stop in Auburn. So you had to jump fast when you went through Auburn. And my sister and I, we would spend 2 weeks in, I'm kidding about the jumping part. They could do a light and get the train to stop. And spend 2 to 3 weeks in Auburn with that grandparent. And then we would go to Luverne, Alabama, and spend 2 to 3 weeks with those grandparents. But we would meet at the K&W in Montgomery for years. We'd always meet them at the K&W and swap. And then when we were through in Luverne, we'd reverse it, meet back in the K&W, go to Auburn, get on the train and come home. It was amazing. I thought y'all were just really interested in that.
Said their summer worked out real well.
Oh, they had, Mother and Daddy had their summer. We thought they just couldn't stand to see us go. When we realized later they were having a good time while we were gone.
We need to talk about the new audio book.
Oh, okay. Well, Patrick, put that guitar up. So here's the problem. Technology is not my strength. And now we have the audio book that we've been selling. We need to give one of these away after you give your explanation. There's 7 CDs in here, and it's 7 hours and 20 minutes. And it's me reading my own book and ad-libbing a little bit. I will admit that. But now we have it ready to be downloaded, that you can just download. It's $10 cheaper, 35 versus 25 and so forth. But when Patrick came over here to tell me how to download it, we found out that I could not do that. I did not know how to do that. I kept trying to follow the instructions. So we sent the instructions to Linda Krim, I think, out in Missouri. We
Sherry.
sent it to Beaver. We
Yep,
went to
Sherry.
Sherry Harris. And you said, can y'all do this? And of course they wrote back and said, sure, just follow the directions. But I said, but the problem is a lot of the people who follow me might be like I am. So can you, if somebody
Yes.
wants to download it?
I got it.
Oh yeah. Take it, Patrick.
So we're very excited. We've been working on this project a long time. It all started when Jeanne wrote her wonderful book, Don't Bungee Jump Naked and Other Important Stuff. And people started saying, but I have a hard time seeing, or my mother has a hard time seeing. Can you do an audiobook? A lot of you know the story that Jeanne and I started pricing out studios for her to go in, and we decided we could do it ourselves, and we did. And so after many weeks in the closet recording this book, we came up with the audiobook CDs that you can get at the link at the bottom of the screen. But now we're offering the audiobook download. Now, we're not going through Audible or any of those platforms because, quite frankly, they just charge too much. And we found a great company out of Nashville owned by our friends Danny and KO, Dan Huff and KO. And Dan created it, Dan Huff, and it's called Magic, Majik. And so I'm going to show you how to get on. So what I want you to do is to, if you go to Jeanne Robertson's Humor Store, it's store.jeannerobertson.com, and click on the audiobook download. You're going to see three options there. We're going to let you download a sample for free. So if you're on your phone, go to the sample that says sample for mobile device, click on the link, and what's going to happen is it's going to take you to the App Store, and you just download the app for Magic, Majik. You can trust them. And so you set up an account, and then you basically have access to the sample. Then if you want to download the whole book to buy, you just go to this link here under purchase the complete audio book. Now, if you want to listen to this on your computer, you go to this link that says sample for computer, and just click on it, set up an account, follow the prompts. It's really simple. And it's less expensive than the CDs because we're not dealing with a hard copy. We're not mailing it. We're not doing all that. And it should be very simple. If you have problems, feel free to email Tony and she'll send it to me, and I will help you out. Don't worry, Tony's not going to try to help you. So anyhow, give it a shot. Everything's secure. Dan Huff and KO, they're friends of ours. We trust them. They're a big company, and they've taken a special interest in Jeanne, and they've really helped us out. And you're going to love the platform. You're going to love the book. You mean
tell you why they took a special interest in us?
I know why. Tell them.
Well, one of their wives likes my stories, and we appreciate it. Is that the same thing you were going to say?
Absolutely. Dan's wife is a big fan, and she's a wonderful woman.
Well, so they all understand this. You go to audiobook download, but you said go to store.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Don't confuse them. So what we're going to do, just go to Jeanne's Humor Store. You can either get to it through her website on the link Humor Store, or you can go to store.jeannerobertson.com. Once you're there, it's going to look like this, and you can buy all kinds of products, CDs, DVDs, hats, or the CD audiobook. But if you want the download, then go to audiobook download. And there is how you do it.
It's on the banner at the top. I mean, it goes across the top.
It's on the banner at the top. And we'll be throwing this up quite a bit. So this isn't your only chance to learn this.
See, what I don't understand is you can go to JeanneRobertson.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then up in the corner, it says Humor Store.
That's
and
it.
You can click. So then why do we also have reverse everything and say store JeanneRobertson.com?
That's our, go ahead, Patrick.
There's more than one road to the store. And so
God.
if you're used to going to Jeannie's site, go to Jeannie's site, upper right-hand corner, click on Humor Store. It gets
Good
the same
answer,
place.
Patrick. Well, see this, if you never have down many, every time I want an app downloaded, I call you and
That's
you
right.
come over. And if I say they can't hear, you say I'm on the way.
And every time I tell you I want an app, you feed me.
I know. That's true. That's true. Okay. Oh, Patrick, did you explain all this to everybody?
I think
Do y'all have, they're just
it's
as blank
pretty,
as I am?
No, it's user friendly. Now, some of you, if you don't have a lot of experience downloading apps, it may be a bit confusing at first, but buy the CD. But if you want to download, just follow the prompts. It'll get you there. I promise. It's a great platform.
Okay.
Am I looking different to you today?
Yes. Last week you announced that you and Leslie were going on diets and you had started the day before and you had already lost 8 pounds.
Well, so
That's water, Patrick. You know, that's just water if you lose.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care if it's pudding.
Okay.
So Leslie and I have committed to losing some weight. Leslie really didn't need to, but I did. So she decided to join the cause. And so we went on last Saturday and I've lost 11.5 pounds. Now I realize, for those of you who are getting ready to blow up the thread with, I realized a lot of that was water, but I had a lot of water. So I'm on my way.
Okay. Well, I can truthfully say that 2 or 3 times you've been over here this week and I have had things you could eat and you have refrained. I'm proud of you, Patrick.
It wasn't a cheap diet.
I know. But you used the word, you ordered the diet.
Yeah, it was a
You just cut calories.
well,
No.
I'm eating out of
You're paying for
I
this?
am paying. Yes.
Okay. You were talking about it earlier and I said,
Linda Wright just said, what if I want to use both computer and a phone? Great question. Thank you for asking that, Linda. For the audiobook.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm backtracking. If you can, once you download this app, you can download to 5 devices. So if you want to listen to it on your computer, you're basically logging into the same platform, whether it's from your phone, computer, or iPad. So you can download it to up to 5 devices. And so, like, I've got it on my phone, and I just open the app and listen. Or if I log in on the computer, once I've set up an account, I think it's called iDiddy is what you're going to
iDiddy?
Yeah, but don't worry about it. Click on that link. It'll take you there and you can access it from computer, phone, iPads, and get it on your iPhone so you can click it into your car and listen to it while you drive.
My turn?
Yes, you look confused. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, my only thing is that somebody wrote this week and said, I was trying to find it, and they said they noticed that all the people in my audiences look like we're from another era, that we don't look young and hip. And so and they're talking about me too. And I know that. I think we look real hip. I've looked at everybody in there. You were in an audience, Tony, but when you were talking a while ago, you used a phrase that I had not heard. And it said something about cell fat, some kind of fat that you were losing. The first day you lose what kind of fat? You get back to, what do you call that? It's on your diet.
I don't know.
You know what? You're already weak. Yeah, you can't. I'm trying to find that. I wish I'd seen. Can you imagine somebody saying, it's just that they must be a very young person.
This woman says, I wasn't fat. You were just flooded.
I know. She's right.
I have a question on the book, back on that, Patrick. Two things.
Yep.
Someone said on here that they could order it, a Kindle version on that is not.
That's not the audio.
There is a Kindle version on Amazon that is printed, and we've had that since the beginning. That's a digital download of the book.
Yeah, if y'all want to get the book, just to read it on your phone or your iPad, go to Kindle. You can get it there.
Right.
We're talking about audio.
That's been there. Then someone else said, when I lost my question because I'm like you, it went away. Could they use Bluetooth to play it through their car?
Yes.
Okay, make sure you say that better so they know.
You can play it through Bluetooth in your car.
Okay. And I have Bluetooth in my car because you came over and set it up, and it does keep your hands on the wheel.
Yeah, I don't have it in my car because I was supposed to have a new car by now, but a pandemic hit and took
I
away my
know.
money.
That's you poor thing. All right, here's a question. Paige Merkinson. If you don't cook, Jeannie, who cooks for you? Left Brain? Friends? Tony?
Cooking is not necessary around here.
Uh-uh.
That we have good places that make wonderful little meals for us, and we can put them in the freezer and then stick them in the oven. Jeannie, I don't cook much either. So
We just don't.
we
Where are we
takeout.
going to lunch in a little while?
We do support our local restaurants with takeout a lot, and we have a few that we can go eat in.
And they have a great Sunday night option.
and is that back on since you're eating grass or whatever?
Yeah, I hope y'all don't mind salads tomorrow night.
See, we're invited to the Henrys every Sunday night, and we social distance and all around. So it's just a very few. It's just the family. And now Patrick says he's on a diet, so don't come last Sunday. Don't you remember he said don't come? There'll be no food.
Right, we had to actually feed ourselves on a Sunday night.
I know it. Well, how much time do we have? Because I want to give more prizes away.
We're past time already. You need to give them away quickly.
Oh no, I need to give away the how far past time? See, we didn't even have a gift. Okay, this is the one that has the 7 DVDs and CDs in there. Remember that they're not all the same length because you can't just stop in the middle of a story and you got to go on. But this is the big new item. So the winner, I'm going to reach in here and pull out the winner of this and hope she or he still has a CD player. We didn't get but 1,000 of these. Okay. Terry, Terri Ludwig Peters. And she says, thank you so much. On her, that's what she wrote on here for something else. Terry Ludwig Peters. Everyone who's had your name drawn for a prize, write Tony, Toni, at JeanneRobertson.com and tell her what you want, except for Terry. Terry, if you just absolutely don't have a CD player, she can send you some other stuff to make up. But you got a question? Isley is on her way. Okay, thanks, Sherry. She is so excited to see you all. Aren't you glad we don't discuss politics on this board? I saw what you posted.
Got your back, Sherry.
Don't put the next thing she says up, whatever it is. Isley is on the way from the airport.
That's great. I know you're a little behind, a little over, but you've only given away 3 regular prizes. If you want to do,
I thought I'd given away. Let me give away 4. And there's somebody else that just said, thank you. You made my week. This was a little discombobulated, but you know, y'all, sometimes I just don't get in. I don't get in enough questions, and I'm aware of it. And y'all are telling me we need questions. And then they'll say we need more songs. And then they'll say we need more stories because I had a story I was going to tell today. And see, here we are. I guess I talked too much. Here is the winner of a prize. Tell Tony what you want. Kim, Kim, Holler, Hollar, Beverly. Or this got chopped off and it's Kim Holler from Beverly Hills. I don't know. It's Kim Beverly Holler. Or you win a prize. Let me give away another one. Thanks for letting us know Isley's on the way. I love young college kids. They're so excited. They came back early because they knew others were coming back early.
They've all been tested before they go back.
I know, everybody.
They do. Before you give that prize, I wanted to say one thing. Today, and there may be others, but right now we've had people watching in Kenya, Ireland, that's Ian, of course, Austria, Portugal, that's a lady named Anne.
Ian's from Scotland.
And Sri Lanka. Yeah,
Sri Lanka?
Scotland, I'm sorry, I said Ireland. I meant Scotland.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
that may be a big distinction you need to make.
Yeah, I meant Scotland. But Kenya, Scotland,
and Australia,
Austria, Portugal, and Sri Lanka.
Also
and
Australia.
New Jersey. So hey.
And I bet Australia's here, but
Australia.
I didn't.
I'm not sure New Jersey could understand us.
No, it's my accent. Okay, Gail Williams. This Gail, Gail. I think she's been on a lot. So let me give another one. I'm sorry, y'all. And the story, remind me to tell, because I wanted to tell the story about the basket. I was on Neil Steele's radio show yesterday. Again, we skipped Christmas and New Year's Day. and told 2 stories I forgot that I had. So this is a stretch. This is stretching me to do this and Neil's show. But I was going to finish the story for y'all because one lady said her radio cut off and she missed the punchline on the basketball referee story. And then also the New Orleans story when I took the senior class. And people are asking, do I have any stories from when I taught? Yours truly taught 9 years and spoke on the weekends. Okay, this is a person who cannot win. Ann Walker. Ann, how many times did you put your name in? I posted in Sumter, South Carolina. I posted from Missy Evans. That's Ann's daughter, Porch. Okay, here's the winner. Thanks, Ann. Anyway,
We love you, boo.
Cheryl Fortune. CHR Fortune. And one more after this. Y'all get in touch with Tony.
Spell Cheryl. Was it C or H?
CHERYL.
Okay, Fortune. And then one more.
One more. All right. Look at this. Is a lot of people winning that the odds are better. Okay, here we are right here. And the last winner of the day is Kay Jones, who says it's impossible to hear you.
That was from the other night.
I know it.
We don't give Kay a prize.
Well, she's not going to know she won if she still can't hear us.
Yeah.
If you can't hear it. No, that was a different session, and you got it fixed, Patrick.
That's what I probably won't give her.
Hey, Patrick, thank you for helping with logistics because I found that all very confusing. But then we sent it to 3 people, and even Beaver said, no problem. So if it's no problem to everybody else, it's going to be okay.
Well, and some of you may have some issues, and we'll get you through them. This is not a one-time deal. We'll be with you the whole way until you download it.
Well, and we were working with real good people with that magic company with Dan and
Yeah,
KO.
Dan and Kay are great.
And then next week we'll see you here, and Jane Jenkins Hurlong will be on the stage will be on the porch with us. And then 2 weeks after her, Shonda Pierce. And Karen, we look forward to the rearranged date. And I'm glad you didn't try to come here on an icy road late yesterday. Thanks, y'all. Keep laughing.
She's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.